to your point, creativity is a very subjective thing. One person can look at something, an idea, and say it's brilliant, and another person can look at it and say, I think it's crap. But I think going back to, and not just playing on this word, but how do you pick and select a really diverse jury? And when I mean diverse, I don't mean just race. It has to be gender balanced. It has to be big and small agencies. It has to be US and global. It can't just be all one side. So, for me, it takes us about 6 months to put the jury together. And we really dive into it. Are the big agencies represented? Are freelancers represented? Are small agencies represented? Is there a big studio or a small studio? Is the jury balanced? And only then can I believe you say that your jury and your board is going to actually be effective in assessing the work and determining what is good and what's bad. And even still, when we have a look through the scores, and I dive into the scores and you look in the back end of it, and it's fascinating because some work can be polarizing, where you've got all the judges leaning one specific way, or you've got other work which is everybody's okay, we're all in agreement, this is great, and it moves forward and wins best in show or whatever it might be. But it's very subjective. But in order to get to a good result, you need a minimum of 12 jury members. They've got to be diverse. They've got to be gender balanced. And I think you'll get a good result from that. We've seen it, and every now and again there's an outlier, but on the whole, I think that work will be reviewed and assessed fairly.
I guess it's interesting because you put the effort into the selection of the humans and then have faith that they'll do the work effectively, because you've selected them cleverly.
Right. And again, there are some outliers because depending on a piece of work, is there something that's culturally relevant that the jury will pick up on? And I just think a little tip to anybody who's entering, make sure that you really spell out any cultural relevance to a particular piece of work that comes from a country that the jury might not understand. And I've seen this, as I said earlier on, I've seen this where you have a look at a great piece of film that's done around, the Cricket World Cup in India or cricket in South Africa or even rugby for that instance, and half the jury doesn't understand cricket rugby. So be sure to clearly articulate, why this is so special from a particular region.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting conversation because culture is such a powerful thing, and it's interesting to know how powerful things like American culture is one of the most powerful machines on earth. It's influenced everyone.
Right.
The British are fairly good at it too, and then it sort of slides down exponentially after that in terms of global reach. So you can have a conversation about the Super Bowl here in South Africa and people kind of know what it is.
Right.
But then you talk about the cricket, which is actually watched by more people in number.
Yeah.
But it's not culturally as influential as what the US has sort of deliberately built, since the sort of 40s, 50s, 60s.